What's up, guys? Sean Tom with VPX Baseball here. Hey, I'm going to talk to you guys about being properly balanced and loaded for our loadout, okay? That's such a huge piece that a lot of hitters don't get accomplished. I'm talking about putting yourself in a good position to do what we ultimately want to do, which is to attack and drive in runs and be an impact guy, okay? Certainly there's a place in the game for guys that kind of flip it everywhere. Awesome. But to be a true impact guy that wants to be in the lineup, everybody wants in the lineup every day, you need to drive some gaps, send the ball out of the yard, okay? A lot of that starts with our starting position, and everybody's going to be different. And we're going to go through just an easy way to find your optimal position in your stance and your loadout so that you can maximize energy from the ground, okay? So I'm going to show you a real easy way to do this, okay? So I'm going to start with my back foot at this cone right here, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to start right here. Okay, and I'm going to go through three phases here. There's three key components to this that are going to make a big difference ultimately in our swing and how much power we get and how on time we are. One of them is my upper body, one of them is my lower body, and one of them is the barrel. The barrel a lot of times is the forgotten piece in all this because people don't treat it for what it is, which is a weight that your body's trying to counterbalance. So if we're not in a good position with it to start with and we're not properly loaded to support it back here, there's no way we're going to support it out there and get what we want. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start close together, and I'm just going to start with the barrel right here for right now. I'm going to go ahead and close my eyes for you, and I'm going to find an optimal point with my upper, lower, and the barrel. Okay, so I'm going to start right here. I'm going to go ahead and shut my eyes, okay? So I'm going to move a little bit just in different planes and find a piece that feels loaded and balanced for me, okay? Right about there feels good for me, okay? Now with my eyes closed still, I'm going to find a good spot for my lower body. So what we're talking about is finding a good supported spot that's going to help me feel loaded and powerful. So I'm going to move out a little bit, maybe a little bit far, and then I'm going to move back in. Okay, right about there feels good for me. Okay, and then I'm going to find a spot for the barrel. Okay, and I'm going to move and just move it around, and you'll feel when you're doing this real quick that this really is what we mean by being a weight. Okay, because when you take the feel out of your upper body and you shut your eyes, you got to really properly counterbalance. Okay, right about there I'm going to go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this cone where my front foot is. Okay, and you'll see that's about the width that feels good for me right there. Okay, okay, actually, right there. Okay, so that's about my width right now. And again, my barrel position, about right there. Okay, so this is, of course, a static motion, okay? I'm just working to just get some feel. I'm not actually competing right now. When we start talking about the competition aspect and what we're ultimately gonna do, we're gonna have some movement, right, into the baseball. We have to, okay? The guy up there's moving and he's trying to throw some cheese at me. I have to be able to combat it with my back hip and be in motion and still powerful and loaded, okay? That's where our VPX harness is gonna come in for me. Okay, it's used by 22 MLB orgs because what it does is it puts the feel into your competition to tell you if you are truly moving correctly at an optimal rate when you're trying to compete and move. Okay, it gives you the feel that you can't get just by talking. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna hook into this thing real quick. Okay, and we're gonna see how my distance and my motion might be a little bit different when it comes time to actually compete. Okay, so I'm gonna go through the same sequence I just did, but I'm gonna add a little bit more movement into it now and see what this harness gives me feel. I'm gonna go by what I'm feeling. And again, the harness, if I get unstable or unstacked or drift or fly open too early, it's gonna pull me up. So that's what I'm gonna pay attention to now is when I feel loaded and when I feel the harness is telling me I'm unloaded. Okay, so we're gonna go from that. So I'm gonna start right here again at this back cone. Okay, barrel up, here we go. Okay, so I'm gonna find a position again. Again, paying attention to what the harness is telling me. So there I am. Okay, now I'm going to go out and I'm just going to play with it. I'm going to go out further. Okay, right about there for me. Okay, and then I'm going to find some barrel. Okay, and I'm going to move right about there. Okay, so now if I look, you see what actually happened for me personally. Okay, this is what I'm feeling right now because this is a true loaded position for me, okay? To where I feel like I'm loaded and powerful. And you see it's actually, I'm gonna move this cone here. We're gonna use this second set right there. So I'm gonna lay that down, there we go. And there we go. And you see the difference, the reason it's different for me is because again, when I did it the first time, I'm just going for balance and what feels good and what I feel like, okay, I'm not gonna tip over and I feel like I can support this. But when it came time to compete and I added the harness in, it went back to here because that's my body telling me that this is loaded. I'm powerful now, I've got energy, right? So now when I move into the baseball, which we'll get to here in a second, I can stay loaded there, okay? And ultimately what we're trying to do, right, is get our back hip into the baseball. That's what we're gonna do, right? So it's very important to find your strongest point in your stance, in your loadout. If you start from bad position, like say I started right here, right? It doesn't matter how strong I am or how powerful I am, I got no shot, because I'm never gonna be able to get all the power I need to combat the fastball that's coming at me. This gives me my optimal point so that I can be efficient and move into the baseball, okay? So the last thing we're gonna show you here is I'm gonna utilize these that I just got with this harness, okay? And I'm gonna work on, we're gonna do a hip drive drill here into the ball, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get to my foot strike here, okay? And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and push, but I'm gonna stay stacked. You notice it's not my upper body, okay? It's not this way, it's my hip. And I'm gonna go ahead and see how we're doing. And I'm gonna go ahead and hit this baseball here. So I'm gonna stay here in my stance, find a good spot, there we go. I'm gonna go and push, and I roll. See, and this harness is telling me right now, look what's going on back here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work a little bit more, a little bit harder to stay this way and not get that way, okay? So here I am, and I go, and again, it's gonna be this way, and I'm gonna keep my heel on the ground longer, okay? A little bit better wood that time. Let's do one more for you. Okay, so here, such a better position right there, it just feels better. Boom, and there we go, okay? That's me being this way, utilizing my lower body. Being able to properly position in your stance and loadout here is vital to being in a good, powerful position here so that I can do damage, keep myself in the lineup. Hopefully you find these drills helpful. We've got a full line of drills on our website to help you elevate your game, as well as a full line of products to help get you to the big leagues.